球手，嚟自香港嘅神奇小子傅家俊。Thank you, Marco。接落來，我哋亦都有請今年榮登世一5月贏得人生第7次世錦賽冠軍，追平咗亨特利維持咗23年嘅紀錄，亦都係以46歲之齡成為英式桌球史上最年長嘅世界冠軍。佢就係嚟自英國嘅火箭，7屆世界桌球錦標賽嘅冠軍，而喺今屆賽事亦都先後擊敗吳安儀同埋羅伯遜，嚟到決賽嘅O'Sullivan。
Please welcome the rocket from England, 7-time world champion, RonnieO'Sullivan!
What a special occasion this promises to be. Marco Fu, you could see him taking it all in as he walked out. Of course, his career was in doubt at one point, but here he is. Taking on the 7 times world champion. They're going to pose with the trophy before we begin. There it is. That's what they're playing for. Big match on its way. The final of Snooker's Hong Kong Masters is about to get underway. RonnieO'Sullivan and Marco Fu posing with the trophy. £100,000 is available. They're both just having a word about the crowd here. 9,000. It's a record for a snooker match in terms of a live audience. It's best of 11 frames, first to 6. Have a good game, Ronnie says. Let's hope it is a good game. They've both been in excellent form. Fu with the maximum against John Higgins in the decider yesterday. O'Sullivan with the comeback from 4-1 down against Neil Robertson in his semi-final. Well, it feels more like a rock concert than a snooker match, this. Let's see how it unfolds. It's going to be RonnieO'Sullivan to kick us off.
RonnieO'Sullivan to play.
And suddenly there's quiet. Alan McManus alongside me. A very special occasion, this, Alan.
Oh, very much so. Can't wait for this. It's been a fantastic 4 days, a true festival of snooker. And boy, have the top players delivered. The standard's been out of this world. And as you say, the crowd of 9,000 in here waiting on the prospect of a brilliant match. Marco Fu has done himself and Hong Kong proud all week long. He's got one more obstacle in his way, but it's the 7 times and reigning world champion.
Yeah, I think in some ways if you could have chosen the final, this might have been it, with Fu resurgent. And of course O'Sullivan is popular wherever he plays in the world. 16-9 to O'Sullivan on their personal head-to-head. But it's been great to see Marco Fu back after, of course, he's had the sort of enforced absence due to, firstly, eyesight problems and then, of course, the pandemic. His cue ball is close, and it's in.
Well, RonnieO'Sullivan, 4.
Doesn't look like huge damage. Marco Fu, if he wins, will join O'Sullivan and the other players in the Champion of Champions, which is a big event at the end of the month in Bolton for winners of tournaments in the last 12 months. So that is another terrific bonus in the background. A tap on the table from O'Sullivan. A lot of finals, of course, 2 sessions. You have a bit of time to settle in. This is still best of 11, so relatively short. But it means, of course, this crowd of 9,000, they're going to see a result. They're not going to see jostling for position. They're going to see the match played through to a finish.
Yeah, first chance today is going to be, you feel, very crucial. I mean, it always is, but with conditions as they are, good scoring conditions. It just goes straight, but I think there was evidence of that in that incredible match yesterday that Ronnie had against Neil Robertson. 4-1 behind, 3 centuries in a row to go, 4-1 down, and then momentum switched and he carried it all the way to the line to win 6-4, of course.
It's amazing how little noise so many people can make, isn't it? There's an absolute hush in here, reverence. But the crowd have been so enthusiastic, they've appreciated, of course, the breaks, and the maximum brought the roof off the place yesterday, but also the tactical exchanges, all sides of the sport.
Yeah, just on the crowd, obviously they're going to be extremely vocal towards the end of frames, and good long pots going in, that sort of stuff. But I think Marco is up there, I think, with the sort of temperament that you would want in this environment. It is alien because, as David said at the top, it's a record crowd. I haven't really seen this before. Cue ball in again, and this time Ronnie does have a reasonable opportunity to strike the first blow.
One.
Left-handed blue. Conditions have been conducive to scoring, certainly. The table's been playing lovely. In this event, O'Sullivan, he's won 11 frames, he's made 8 breaks of 70 or plus. Fu 4 70 or plus, but of course the 147 is the one we remember. He might be a little nervous, actually, Marco, because obviously he's in line for the 10,000, but this man has made more maximums than anybody. He's not going to make one here, but he's in first in this final.
Oh.
Yeah, Ronnie getting rid of that red. He's got a plan. That red just above the black wouldn't go a few seconds ago. It does now. So that's what will have been at the back of his mind. That's what he's working on. Get the correct side of the blue this time, and you can bet that'll be what he's after.
It
really is a fantastic piece of break building. And if this comes off, fantastic.
25.
And now a genuine chance to put another big number together. Not crucial that it goes on the spot. Of course, the brown spot is on, but he won't want. Yeah, that suits O'Sullivan.
32. 33.
Yeah, it may be on the red, but normally you'd want to play it with a bit of right-hand side to throw the red south, the way we see it, but he can't get to the right half of the cue ball. So this is a tricky alternative. The way the reds are. Want to play it as some kind of shot to nothing. Great pot. Good control as ever.
41.
But the black stays out. And he's annoyed because the frame had kind of been unlocked, hadn't it, to this point. They're all there for him, but break over, relief for Fu. Marco Fu, I mean, it's a record crowd is one thing, but because he's not played in big matches for a while. Really 3 years until this week. So you can understand it if there's some nerves there. Sullivan looking at a potential plant. And in it goes, so another chance already with a good lead. It has to be said, Fu didn't get too close to his attempt to the yellow pocket.
Yeah, this blue normally no problem, but the red's impeding his bridge a little. So he's having to put about another 6 or 8 inches of cue out there. So this is not a cinch. But like most things all week long, right in the heart of the pocket. And this time it is a genuine chance to put the frame away.
6.
Yeah, he missed a black, didn't he, in the second frame yesterday against Neil Robertson, and that was significant because he was 1-0 up, he ended up going 4-1 down, but the black that he missed here in this frame is looking a lot less significant because Fu didn't take advantage. You could say he's a bit unlucky to leave the plant, but I suppose you can't leave it if you pot the red, that's the thing. Check of the scores. He needs this for Marco Fu to be at the snooker's required stage. In it goes. He won the little battle at the start of the frame. Fu went in off. That's what let O'Sullivan in initially. And as I say, the missed black in the end made no difference. Well, that makes a slight difference because Fu will play on now, so it gives him table time if nothing else.
Yeah, just on that missed red with the rest there, Ronnie. He's one of the, it might even be the only player on the tour that doesn't carry a mini butt with him. Obviously, they do have extensions underneath the table, as frame ball this time does disappear. Guaranteed frame ball, that is. Yeah, not the perfect start in terms of knocking in a huge break, but the fact that Marco hasn't troubled the scorers, I think that's the sort of main reason why you would say it is the perfect start.
Yeah, I think what will be interesting is, and it will, I think, tell us something about this final, is if Fu gets a more straightforward chance, what will he make from it? The ready missed okay, didn't get too close, but it was missable. If he gets a chance, a comfortable chance early on and doesn't score from it, then he could be in big trouble today, because you just know that O'Sullivan is going to rack up the breaks.
19.
So Fu has got to make the most of the openings if they come, and there's no guarantee they will. In fact, the last time O'Sullivan beat him at the Masters 2018, it was a whitewash, 6-0.
6. 27. 32. 34. 37. 41. 46. 52.
So a clearance of 53. Ronnie O'Sullivan dominated frame one of this best 11 final. Marco Fu already with his hands full as well, but bottom line, they're just here to see what they hope is a great snooker match. O'Sullivan has made the early running. Fu yet to get on the scoreboard, get to pot a ball. It's another big occasion for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's played in so many showpiece matches, finals down the years in all sorts of venues, but this is something else entirely. In the UK, the biggest audiences traditionally have been at the Masters, and of course that's a tournament that was won 3 times by Paul Hunter, who passed away on this day 16 years ago, and of course we have our thoughts with his family today. Trophies named in his honour, we always remember him every January, but I can assure you people in the snooker world always remember him, full stop.
Yeah, I would echo that, Dave. And just to say hello if his dad Alan is watching. Lovely man. Just all the best to yourself and the family, and I hope you're enjoying this final. Now, another long red for Ronnie perhaps to feast on. It looks a natural round the back of the black spot. But not this time. And can Marco Fu get himself started in this final?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about in the last frame, a more straightforward opening. Might tell us how he's feeling. Applauding the fact he's potted his first ball. He's a big name in Hong Kong, Marco Fu, huge sporting icon, has been for the past quarter of a century since he won the World Amateur title. was a while early in his career where people felt he may become the first Asian world champion. Got to a couple of semi-finals at the Crucible. Been in the final of the UK, the final of the Masters. Won 3 ranking titles. And his highest ranking number 5, so it's been a terrific career.
Yeah, red by the right centre pocket. Quite a sharp entrance to the pocket from where he is. You've got to be careful. Good news, doesn't have to play it with a lot of pace. Yeah, played that nicely. Got the same shot as a few ago and expect him to get straight or high on the red this time.
We're certainly getting plenty of support. Every pot is being applauded, whether it looks straightforward or not.
Only 4.
Yeah, words are not needed. We all know he's on nothing. And all right, it's a good start, but again, on conditions all week long, 40 odds generally hasn't been good enough. You can't, on this table in these conditions, nurse a lead like that to the line. Certainly not in this company. So back to Balk.
Yes, you could see the disappointment, and Fu, not the most expressive character, is he? But you could see he was frustrated there. He couldn't continue that break.
Ah, this is a big shot, isn't it? If he can play it just a one cushion with a gentle pace, you fancy him getting it. Yeah, good shot. And played confidently. He knew full well he was leaving a sitter. And more than likely, Ronnie stepping in and winning the frame. If what we've seen all week long is anything to go by. So that was a good shot, coolly done.
Eight.
Yeah, he's been pretty cool, hasn't he, the whole tournament? I mean, you look at beating Mark Selby and John Higgins. 8 world titles between them. Now he's got to beat a man who's got 7 on his own. I think all the top players have always respected Fu, though. I mean, he's 100 in the rankings. That means nothing at all. It's just because he hasn't been on the tour. Nobody sees him as the world number 100.
9.
So far, it's a little like the first frame O'Sullivan got before the odd lead and then got in again.
14.
Fu hoping also to close this one out. A couple more reds with colours needed to do that. And just settle into the match.
15.
It's easy to say, well, everything's a bonus for Fu, the fact he's back playing. But now you're in the final, obviously, you want to win it. It would be a huge moment in his career if he could win this tournament.
22.
Yeah, so blue, not a problem. He's going to draw level at 1-all, and what better validation would it be for Marco Fu to win this event, because he's admitted himself, been some dark times the last couple of years, doubting whether, you know, due to trouble with his left eye, whether he could even continue playing. But those problems, certainly largely due to this week's performance, are going to make his mind up for him, and that's good news for everyone. Of course, most of the tournaments in Europe and
36.
mainland Europe, so he's got a long way to travel back and forth, so it makes the decision, you know, more difficult in a way.
37.
But good to see him back somewhere near his very best.
Yeah, and I think the significant thing in this frame is he didn't miss when he was in initially. He lost position. It's not like he missed a sitter. He just lost his way, but potted a good red to get back in and has now settled into the match. And it's good news for everyone watching, because it's game on here. We want a good quality match from both sides, and it looks like we're going to get one.
$48. 49. 55.
So 55 will do after the initial visit that gave him the lead in this frame. The crowd applauding the home hero, Marco Fu, levels up at 1 each. Best of 11, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break here in frame 3. Remember, it's £100,000 to the winner, 45 to the runner-up. O'Sullivan, of course, already in the Champion of Champions. Fu would get in there as well if he were to win. The last counting event for that, by the way, is next week's Northern Ireland Open. Speaking of the home nation, there's actually the Scottish Open qualifiers have begun today at the Chase Centre in Cannock. Guessing it's not quite the same atmosphere there, but that's underway. It'll be on all week. Makes a difference, doesn't it? The little wobble as opposed to dropping in.
Cushions have been quite soft all week long. This type of shot, you want to give it an extra few ounces to get the cue ball to reach. Baulk cushion. Very good. And it's a good sign that, you know, it's a tough shot that. It's easy to catch it thick. It means that Marco's seeing it well from distance. Ronnie likewise got to be careful, just less than half ball contact, perfect.
Well, it turns out that pocket isn't generous enough on that shot anyway. Isn't it great to see such enthusiasm for the sport? Obviously, in the UK, we have so many tournaments. The audience is spread across the various parts of Britain where the events are played. Here, this is the first event in Asia for 3 years. So they've been waiting a while and have come out in huge numbers.
Seven.
The way the reds are now, it's not easy to pick off red, blue, and keep doing that. I mean, yeah, both colours are waiting, but ideally want to get the black in play if possible.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that red does go to right middle, so doesn't have to play the black with any great pace. But he's not happy with that. Didn't want to be this straight, so he missed one actually against Mark Selby. It was into the other pocket that was quite similar to this, and that'll be in his mind. Players do remember such things, and he was running it in a couple of cushions. Same again.
Upper full. 13.
There's been some chit chat about the, you know, the pockets this week. Yes, they're on the generous side, if you think about what level par would be, but at pace, very missable.
Well, as you see, pink and black at the moment not in play, so a little bit of work on the cue ball required.
Seven.
A stunning positional shot. Oh, likewise. Brilliant.
11.
It's having the vision to see it. I mean, it was difficult off the green. It was a sort of shot to get on that red. Brown was quite easy, but within 2 shots, he's opened everything up here.
Sixteen. 17. Twenty-four. 25.
There's a chance we'll be sat here 10 years from now asking when Ronnie O'Sullivan's going to decline, but there's no great signs of it yet. And the discipline he showed at the Crucible, that was the thing. It's not just, of course, the way he plays, it's the way he feels, the way he thinks, the effort he put in over 17 days. And we saw, of course, all the emotion come out at the end. He bottled it all up for the 2 weeks and then was clinging on to Judd Trump for dear life after that final.
$28. 29.
It's quite a nice little pack of 4, isn't it? You'd expect good separation. Just losing the cue ball is what concerns him most. That'll do. Absolutely fine.
44. 45. 50. 51.
Well, very early on he got the black back into play. That was the key to opening everything up. Check at the scores, 45 in front, so this red. And it looks like 2-1. Jerry Chan. Got his name on his ball marker there, just so we know who he is. And he's just measuring the spot.
$58. $59.
So now the pink is key to whether we see a century, our first of the final.
$66. $67. $71.
Well, he brought it out, but he didn't pop the red. But anyway, 71 will do nicely. Ronnie O'Sullivan looking sharp, back in front in this Hong Kong Masters final at 2-1 with one more frame to come before the mid-session interval. Pretty swiftly by the team here. Fu trying to break his resolve. He needs to keep with him first and foremost by winning this frame to draw level again. Could have done with a little nudge there, couldn't he? Last little nudge to leave him on a bulk colour. You saw his wife Shirley there in the audience. I never forget, she came to the Championship League one year to Crondon Park in the depths of winter. And word went round it was going to snow. She'd never seen snow. All excited, but a little less excited a few hours later when they literally had to be dug out of the drive because their car was stuck. It's a long drive at Crondon Park to get out onto the main road, and yeah, they were stuck. Welcome to Britain.
Yeah, because Marco would be no stranger to that sort of thing. He sort of grew up in Canada, didn't he, for some of his younger years. It just shows you how well-travelled and far-travelled they are. He also lived up in Scotland for, I think, about a year, maybe a year and a half, Marco. He'll be in the club in Stirling, in central Scotland, and getting to practice quite a lot with guys like Stephen Hendry and quite a number of other top players. Ah, lovely control, as ever. Trying to get the black in the open at the first opportunity. Now, considering playing a deep screw into the pack off this, it's not a shot that players have been using this week. It's more been glancing blows. Let's see now which way he goes about it.
Fifteen. 16.
Looks straightforward, it's not. It's a natural in-off in the corner, so he's got to work the cue ball. Sacrifice an easy pot for better position down the line. No problem.
$18. 19. $26. 27.
Okay, he's got to be sweet with the striking of this. Deep screw, left-hand side. Yeah, didn't quite get through it. So, this might be a little risk, because guaranteed position means you've got to play it dead weight twice across. But having got the pot, he's guaranteed the position. Half ball yellow.
35.
And any sort of cannon on what's quite a decent target, the bunch of reds.
$37.
Well, he's finished on this one, so still in business.
38.
Not very often you would say Ronnie maybe played a surprising positional shot there with a pink waiting. But even that was superb. Deliberate use of the top jaw.
43.
And if this red goes in, it should be 3-1.
No, that was never in where it hits on the cushion.
RonnieO'Sullivan.
Yeah, he just slightly lost his way there, didn't he? So he's a 42-point lead.
this is what all the top players are so accomplished at now, is being able to defend from the baulk cushion. Of course, Marco in the situation looking to be the aggressor, but Ronnie defending very well. I'm surprised he's not looking at the red. The one half ball away from the pink, it's on, isn't it? But for whatever reason, he's not playing it. Playing it this time. He had a chance at it a couple of shots ago.
I think in some ways your worst nightmare as a player is that Ronnie O'Sullivan treats you with absolute respect, because that means he's going to play the correct snooker, the disciplined snooker, and not leave you easy chances unless something goes dramatically wrong. And he has huge respect for Fu. He said that yesterday, and he's forced the error from him and given himself another chance for 3-1. He said it would be an honour to play him in the final, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want to beat him.
1.
So good all-round snooker from O'Sullivan, and as I say, the chance to claim that 2-frame lead.
Eight. 9. 16.
2 more pots for the frame. There'll be an interval and then a big frame when they resume. Fu will have memories of O'Sullivan going off into the distance against him.
Twenty-four. 23. 24.
Yes, we know he's won everything multiple times in his career, but
31.
apart from this is maybe the one box that isn't ticked. Got the final here 5 years ago, as we know, against Neil Robertson, but he hasn't won the title, and it was in a different venue. Definitely the sort of tournament that you can get on board with and be fully tuned into.
39. 40.
And as all the players are, of course, it'd be a dream to play out there for anyone. But it's almost a new place to show your skills, and this sort of crowd show off a little as well.
So another half century.
54.
Play some good safety to initiate this chance.
56.
Just room, is there? Past the blue.
$59.
So, a solid 59.
Yeah, that's where Ronnie's been excellent so far today. He's had Marco feeding off scraps, really. Not leaving too many opportunities or half chances at distance for Marco. And of course, when Ronnie gets in close, he's missing very little, so a tough combination now. He can't. Can he get to that red to play a defensive safety shot, or does he fancy the half ball long red? Ah, great pot.
1. Green ball.
Got to be careful with this because the natural half ball is an in-off. On.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 1.
Played it nicely. Yeah, clearly the bottom red of the two is on. It's just whether he can find a way of trying to play it as some kind of shot to nothing.
Yeah, they're a big couple of frames, aren't they, for Fu? Certainly if he lost them both, then can't really see any way back, and he's left potential opening here. A couple of months ago, Sullivan was complaining about tennis elbow, and he said he was actually targeting this event as his comeback tournament. He did, of course, play in the doubles and the mixed doubles, that is, and the British Open, although he didn't fare too well in either, but he's looking very sharp in this event.
Seven. $14. 15. $22.
Such a bonus to be able to reach this with the opposite hand. And I know we're so used to it, but it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, he's dropped the cue ball absolutely where he wanted it.
$13. 31. RonnieO'Sullivan.
Yes, it wasn't straightforward, particularly with reds having come into play. He knew if he missed the black, he'd be leaving Fu in, and that's what's happened. And these are the chances Marco Fu has really got to seize on. That shot there, it kind of sums up how he plays, very tidily done.
6.
He was always, in his pomp, a very heavy scorer. He's had over 500 centuries. Sort of metronomic style. Once he gets in to his rhythm, it's quite hard to knock him out of it. Well, certainly that's been the case when he's been competitive over the years.
Seven.
I'm quite sure he'd have had 5 minutes on the practice table, Marco, because not had all that much table time. Certainly around the business end of the table, so he's not quite in stroke as yet. Still searching for that one perfect positional shot. Of course, when you don't get a raft of chances, when they do come along, they feel that more difficult to take advantage of. But now that he is in good position, he can start possibly thinking about maybe winning this frame in one visit.
20. Anyone?
It's just gone a little awkward. It's going to have to settle. I was going to say a red. Well, maybe there's a plant on. Either way, he's got the loose red, certainly.
28.
But yeah, it was the way he played it. It's kind of felt like the plant was there, so it's a nice bonus, but one that he was fully aware of. But no.
Marco 4, 28.
He would feel that's a mistake he can't afford to make. 3-1 down. Could be very, very costly. Because O'Sullivan hasn't missed that much that's been important in the match, but of course the black he missed set up the chance for Fu, which he's not taken.
Eight. Nine.
Yeah, so 12 and 24 would be 36 in front and not need the red by the pink. So 2 red blacks.
16.
And he doesn't have to worry about the red that's tied up just yet anyway.
17. Twenty-four. 25.
Well, I think we've seen maybe the key shot of the final. The failure of Fu to execute the plant has made a big difference. It's allowed O'Sullivan in for this break, 4-1. And suddenly only needs 2 more to become champion.
$38. 40.
It's definitely a missed opportunity that for Fu. O'Sullivan missed that black with the white close to the side cushion.
RonnieO'Sullivan.
Marco Fu, though, couldn't hit back.
93.
And he's in trouble now, for sure, because O'Sullivan is motoring on towards victory in this final. 4-1, 2 more, and he will be Hong Kong Masters champion. Marco Fu up against it then as he breaks off in frame 6, 4-1 down to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who needs 2 more to become champion here at the Hong Kong Masters. Fu did have his chance in that last frame, just failed to make that plant, which, who knows, could have led on to him winning the frame. But clearly, if he loses this one, then he's a long, long way back. It's been great to see him back in the big time, but of course, having got this far to the final, he wants to really put on a show for the home supporters. Says a lot about Fu, though, that, you know, he hasn't had many matches at all in the last 3 years, but he's managed to beat, in this event, Mark Selby and John Higgins. Yeah, it remains to be seen whether Ronnie's going to be tempted at the red. But really, he shouldn't have this option. One goes astray, so Marco Fu has got to get something going quick style. 4-1 behind, but that man there was 4-1 behind to Neil Robertson just yesterday, wasn't he? So it's doable, but as I say, got to get something going. Wouldn't lack for encouragement either. But he's not playing, I think, as Dave said earlier, not get any rhythm. So like a shot here, you think maybe go into the pack. He's caught between a couple of shots, and don't blame him for trying to pick a few off. But again, they didn't quite get through the cue ball. It's all hard work at the moment for Marco. It was noticeable there how quickly he played that, isn't it? I think he's reached that stage where he knows it's got to happen, and probably quickly. I think he's just going to not so much throw his arm at a few, but he's got to try and relax into this if he's going to make inroads. Something's got to change. But he's a very good match player. He knows, and he'll feel the strength of O'Sullivan. So he's got to change something up, and I think this is a good ploy. Just try to quicken up a touch, at least for the next frame or two. Not that he was playing slowly, just in terms of that rhythm.
22.
And again, just losing the cue ball. That shake of the head, it's more irritating than anything, because
29.
the cue ball shouldn't be, as it is now, about 8 or 10 inches off that cushion.
Well, you can see how reactive the clothers. He was watching that cue ball, he kind of knew he'd overdone it.
And he's got his reward. Skipping round the table there, he's on one.
33.
So that was good. As I said, not wasting any time. The green was not that appetising, but played it on sort of more instinct than sort of preparation for it. Good ploy.
Yeah, it's true. He just got on with that green, didn't he? You know, he just got on with it and thought, OK, come on now. Let's try and make something happen. Rather than building every shot up to be a pressure shot, which it was. But anyway, now let's see if he can plough on and make this match closer. As I said earlier, he's an established figure in Hong Kong. He's actually a justice of the peace in Hong Kong. He has duties include he has the right to inspect prisons. So almost part of the establishment in this part of the world.
41. Eight. $49.
He actually beat O'Sullivan in one of his first pro events, the Grand Prix '98, got to the final. His first season on tour, lost to Stephen Lee.
57.
But that was the immediate breakthrough he made, and the sign that he was likely to become a leading player.
Yeah, just once again didn't quite get the cue ball to make, well, the full journey. Still not bad. He can hold for blue, which would be enough. But as these players do, they want the extra red to make sure that Ronnie stays in that chair.
Well, he lost his way a little earlier on in the break, but that green was a big shot to get into the reds. This blue should be 4-2. Just open the shoulders a little in this frame, Fu. Still, as Alan says, would like the extra red.
70.
And in it goes. So, Marco Fu has done what he had to do, really, which is keep Ronnie O'Sullivan in his seat. If you look at the three ranking events he's won, the three players he's beaten in the finals, O'Sullivan, Neil Robertson and John Higgins. So
77.
when it comes to these finals, he's had some really big wins. It's not like the events he's won, you know, the draws opened up. Quite the opposite, actually.
58.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the three players he would need to
85.
beat to win this title. The 114 in the last 22 World Championships between them. So he doesn't do it the easy way.
Crowd would love to see him make a century here. He'd love to make one, just for his own self-confidence. Already had 16, including, of course, his 147, but 16 amongst all the players from the 6 matches prior to the final.
91. 92.
Well, Marco, you're going to have to pull out something special now to make the century.
98.
Just whack it. That's it. And you never know, do you? It's not going in, but a 98 break, just what the doctor ordered there for Marco Fu.
Marco Fu.
This final not done yet. O'Sullivan still 2 away at 4-2. The Hong Kong flag got a big cheer there, didn't it? What's been interesting, I think, about the crowd, they've been very well behaved. We had one guy who got upset about something the other day, was thrown out, but other than that, it's been literally sober. There's been no alcohol served. It's been respectful. It's been enthusiastic, and it's really added to the general atmosphere. There's one lady, she held beside Marco Fu 5 maximums, so she obviously had that made overnight. Because yesterday it was 4 before he made his against Higgins.
Yeah, I think also the other side of Marco is, as Dave rightly put it, Marco opening the shoulders just a wee bit in that last frame. The other person to have noticed that would be Ronnie himself. Almost just showing Ronnie a different slant, a different take on the way that Marco may start approaching things now. Taking this on, deep screw. Has he got cover?
What a result. What a result that is. And Marco Fu, and little bits of luck, of course, can play their part.
There they go again. Welcome to Stadium Snooker.
Yes, of course, there's some massive screens. I mean, if you're sat at the back, it's hard to see exactly what's happening, but the screens certainly help.
Haven't detected the referee just yet, having a look to see whether Ronnie can hit one full ball, which may or may not be crucial. You see there, it's close, isn't it, on that picture? Oh, fabulous. Great hit.
What a shot that is. Gets double applause from Fu, tapping the cue twice on the table. It's nice to see the skillful safety play warmly appreciated.
Well, yeah, no wonder he's sort of a wry grin. Maybe he fancied the cue ball finding the gap, but either way, he's passed up the kind of chance that Ronnie normally doesn't falter. And if it is the case that, as we suggested it might be, that Marco thinks, right, okay, let's just play on a bit more instinct and take it a few more risks. The problem with that is you're prepared to go out on your shield, as it were, then you've got to be prepared to make the odd mistake, and that might be a huge one.
9. $16. 17. 24.
'Well, the good news, I suppose, there is he's not played on the black, so Marco Fu's maximum not under threat, but that doesn't mean he won't be 5-2 down shortly.
$30. 21. 38. 39. 46. 47.
'Yeah, so fast approaching
54.
the point of winning the frame, and I was just thinking those 5 reds dotted sort of
55.
close together there. Type of position, yes, they're loosely packed, but it's where you need really good cue ball control. I remember speaking to Jack Lazowski actually a few years ago. Actually, I think he'd went and had a practice session with Ronnie, and he couldn't believe when the Reds were in that kind of position how tight he got, and they played what we'd call sets, best of 9s, maybe 3 sets.
61.
And the whole day, Jack was saying that Ronnie didn't once fail to land pretty much perfect on shots around that area of the table. And you're about to see it here.
60.
Yes, he's got 3, maybe even 4 that pass. But he gets right in behind that type of shot so often. Makes it look easy when it's far from it.
Well, Fu really does have it all to do now. He needs snookers here, otherwise 5-2. O'Sullivan 1 away. He was just handed the opening here with the way the balls were set. He just fancied the big break. Of course, he had to make it. He's done so
75.
very impressively once again. And surely now we're going to see our first century of the final.
82. 83.
O'Sullivan's had 3 in the tournament so far. Of course, Fu's maximum still in line for the £10,000 prize.
$90. 91.
You see, it's kind of what I was driving at. You know, the 5 reds, he's been no more than
98.
probably 20 inches or so away from all 5 of those reds that he's picked off. It's been not so much a stunning break, because it was a good chance, yes, when he came to the table, but boy, has he delivered.
So not a total clearance, he misses the last red, but 105, it was a good chance, it was taken superbly, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is 1 frame away from becoming Hong Kong Masters champion. He leads Marco Fu by 5 frames to 2. Plenty of support, but he needs it right now, because we've seen already from that last frame 1 mistake, and it can all be over. O'Sullivan made 105 from the chance he was given, so Fu needs to win the last 4. Been a wonderful few days in this big arena, back in Asia for the first time in 3 years, coming here with an elite field to showcase the game. Hopefully plenty to build on going forward, with the whole tour hoping for a return to China very soon. Players as well deserve credit, not just for the way they played, but the way they've conducted themselves. There was an exhibition this afternoon, a more light-hearted affair, but also all the promotional work they've done.
One.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big arena. A lot of the crowd thought he was on that black, but they saw then the camera angle and you could see he's not.
Blue ball.
Blue it is then.
Yeah, blue cut to middle.
Marco Fu.
Yeah, it's almost the 2 shots there kind of sum up his final so far. Yeah, I say so far, 'cause it's not over yet, not by a long shot. But even here again, yeah, Ronnie's made the mistake. He's left 1, but it's not easy. The black should be guaranteed. Positionally, just got to get himself started. No, he's not on it. I can understand why. He's under so much pressure, and let's remember the layoff that he's had. It does have an effect. Yes, he's played fantastic all week long. 2 brilliant wins against Selby and Higgins, but at some stage you do wonder in sport, does it catch up with you? A lack of activity more than anything.
One.
And I just think at some stage for Marco, maybe it is a case that you know, your body and mind actually realises that, wait a minute, yeah, I'm beating world-class players and knocking in maximums and such like, but it does catch up.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 1.
Well, it's not over yet. The brown did not go in. Neither did the cue ball. And that left a chance with the white hanging on, which Fu has knocked in. Brown over the pocket. So, not done yet. The crowd willing on every shot he plays here. A little bit too much, in fact. They're being told to just shush it a bit.
Five. 6. 13. 14. 21. 22.
Yeah, again, the fact that it went in the side door, a cue ball has come back too straight, and it's not so much the pot that's the problem, it's where does he get the angle on the colour to keep the break going. Yeah, just losing his cue ball too often.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more simple for Fu had that blue been on its spot. It was a lovely, would have been a lovely angle to go into the pink, get the reds open, but that wasn't the case. He's broken down, and once again it's out of his hands. And it's in the hands of the greatest break builder we've ever seen in this sport. Now attempting to land yet another trophy.
8.
Not a ranking title, but I think it would mean a lot to him because of the audience here, the world record crowd of 9,000, the atmosphere.
A
few people getting a little excited, I think, in the audience. Just need to simmer down a little.
17.
I expected him to be a wee bit straighter on this red, but if he plays for pink, it's absolutely perfect regardless of what side of the pink he leaves this.
20.
So perhaps that was part of the plan all along. If it was a good one. Pink to hit the front.
$26. 27.
Well, if ever there was a man for the big occasion, we're looking at him, and this is, in terms of an audience, the biggest occasion we've ever seen in terms of live crowds. yesterday, he was in big trouble. Neil Robertson made 3 centuries in a row to lead 4-1. O'Sullivan turned it round in style. And now it's a question of finishing off the job.
Only 2. Only 3.
Yeah, beautiful again. A little touch of helping side. Encourage the cue ball. Ferrero, he's had quite a heavy contact, so it's going to be long pink. Just drag the cue ball back, but this, I think it's safe to say, is match ball because he's going to be right in behind the last red. The pot goes in, the title says. But no.
Wow, what a late twist in the tail. Got the heavy contact, which is why he had to take that pink. So, just sort of writing the obituaries on this match, and then that happens.
Yeah, going the 2 cushions, spinning between yellow-brown. Played it perfectly. Good shot. Now, the good thing about being nice on this, nice and anywhere around straight in the green, is going to have a nice angle to attack the blue, one would think anyway. That's not perfect, but should still be okay. Yeah, decisions. It's not easy to move. You tend to play in behind this type of shot, just drop in behind it. Played to move it, but it wasn't all that big a target. So, scoreboard, let's see. 9 behind. Tells us obviously that Ronnie needs a ball, and that's all. So Marco's got to be super careful. Thinking about the cross double. Yeah, he's sorely tempted. The problem is, you let Ronnie back at the table with the scoreboard as it is. It's easy for Ronnie to dictate.
He went for it, he got it. This match looked over. But Marco Fu needs pink and black to take us to another frame. Well, I'll tell you what, if he turns this round, we'll remember what happened in this frame. O'Sullivan, he got a kick, didn't get on the black, missed the pink. Marco Fu needs the black, and we're going into another frame. Incredible. And who's to say that's not the start of the full-scale comeback, because he must have felt it was over. The family not ready yet to commiserate. They may be celebrating later. It's 5-3. As I say, it looked over, but O'Sullivan missed that pink in the end, and Fu made a very good clearance. He doubled the blue. Potted pink and black as well. So 5-3. O'Sullivan still 1 away. couple of thin edges. One apiece. I think some of the crowd thought for a nasty moment there he might be blocked off, but at least he has access to all reds, or pretty much all reds. It's tricky cueing. I think this shot, if he takes it on, it's made more difficult the fact that there is a path for the cue ball to find the gap, but his eyes will be drawn to that gap. And it makes the pot more difficult. He's got away with it though, or has he? Is there a gap? Seems quite content with it, so might be in for a bit of cat and mouse with the red near the pocket. Once again, a dangerous game. Actually, this shot that Ronnie's faced with, the best way to play this is try and top the cue ball into the pocket with the pot, because it's not easy to do it. You see, if you try to maybe squeeze and try to get the cue ball out of there, your eyes naturally come away from the pot in a funny sort of way. Has he got away with it this time? There's your answer. And it feels that way, doesn't it? The first time in this match that Marco has got Ronnie not at it, but he's certainly got him under some pressure. Obviously the consequences of what happened at the tail end of frame 8. But he's definitely in the ascendancy just at the moment. Yeah, not that many matches O'Sullivan plays where, you know, a significant section of the crowd are supporting his opponent. I mentioned the late Paul Hunter earlier. They played in the Masters final 2004, where it was pretty evenly split, the support.
7.
Paul won that one 10-9. It was a big cheer when
8.
Fu cross-doubled that blue in the last frame.
Oh, Marco, what have you done? This is an important placement. Yeah, well, whatever. He can't be on a red. Wow, what a mistake to make. He had the proverbial acre of space to land the cue ball.
15.
Let's end the break.
Yeah, and it's come at the moment, the first moment in the whole match where he's looked the more comfortable of the two. But anything can happen in this sport to turn things again, and that's what's happened there. Disappointing.
Couple 4, 15.
There was a little Marco could do about that in terms of pushing a red near the corner. And all of a sudden, with 5 colours near the top end of the table for Ronnie to land on, the snooker gods aren't playing ball. He's not thinking about so much about getting the snooker here, which should be guaranteed. He's thinking about the Marco escape, trying to block off the right half, but he's not with it right now.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 1.
It's a pretty bad error.
Well, he was one pot away from winning this final, wasn't he? That pink in the last frame, and not quite been the same since.
Yeah, as I said, he's not at it, is he? You wouldn't put it that way. Just at the moment, the tide is against him, and even here, this is tricky. Not to push a red over the corner. No cause for alarm here with the blackout of commission. Straightforward drop on the two reds.
Yeah, some good stuff being played here. Because we've gone from the final looking over to suddenly this becoming competitive again. Well, that could have gone badly wrong for O'Sullivan. But in fact, the kiss on the red has sent the cue ball back to bulk. It's all a bit on a knife edge, isn't it? As I say, it was looking over. Now it's kind of in the balance again.
Yeah, you'd never describe Ronnie as a scrapper of a player, but at the moment he's having to be a grafter. He's fighting tooth and nail. Another tap of the table, and why not? Class safety shot from Marco. It's that momentum thing. At the moment, Marco's got it, and Ronnie wants it. But whenever he comes to the table, it feels like Ronnie's got the odd problem to solve a wee bit more than perhaps Marco has. Marco's the one dictating. Yeah, probably worth the risk because the long straight red there, or just off straight red's not really a Marco Fu type of shot. Perfectly capable, obviously, but he just can't afford to leave Ronnie in with a straightforward chance. Not with all the hard work he's had to put in to this passage of play. So that's good match snooker, just keeping Ronnie at distance. He's eyeballing a shot to nothing, but he can't miss it thick. If he misses this thick, he's colliding with reds. It's actually one of those shots you play to miss it thin. And you actually sometimes can miss-hit it and pot it thick, you know, because missing it thin, he's in behind the yellow. That's what's in his mind. See, that's the kind of, you almost use a miss to your advantage, if you like. But anyway, it was a good return. Problem is over to Marco. Boy, what a big shot. What a big shot that was. Has he got any sort of cover? Chance O'Sullivan.
Well, he's worked hard to get any sort of opening. Let's see how he's feeling now in a match that he was a ball from winning in the last frame.
One.
Cogs whirring, aren't they, in his mind as he looks for a plan here.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Earlier in the match, he pot the pink, used the blue as a cushion and played that red to this corner. Pink going back on its spot. But he's not in that way of thinking at the moment. And that's not ideal, far from it.
6.
No, things have changed in this match, for sure. You can see it in the body language and it's reflected in the play.
One.
Once again, Jerry Chan has got his ball marker out. It didn't look like the black went on its spot, but he was quite rightly checking. On to the next highest, the pink.
Nine.
Yeah, I do think you can trace a lot of this back to when it was 4-1 and Marco thought, right, okay, let's get the shackles off and start having a go, loosen up a little. Ronnie would have picked up on it. Almost like a poker player playing a bit safe and then thinking, right, okay, let's just go all in with it. And by the nature of playing that way, you make yourself more dangerous, more of a wild card. if you like. So good chance now, 32 to the good. Just pick off the loose reds. And it would be back to 5-4, but that wasn't the time to put in a bad one. Why didn't he just kill the cue ball and black to right middle? Good pot, but can he avoid the cannon on the 5 reds?
Well, what a chance to take us to yet another frame. It's already been a fairy tale week for Fu. Is there another twist coming for him? Just being here, the maximum yesterday and beating Higgins. But if he could win this from 5-2 down, that would be something. You'd have to convince him he wasn't dreaming, I think. Black puts him 56 ahead. So another red and a black should be enough. O'Sullivan did have the chance. He didn't look too comfortable, actually. And it went wrong pretty quickly.
Yeah, so as Dave said, this black will secure the frame. And isn't it funny how this game's in the mind? Looking back to that shot, Ronnie played the blue, he had the pink for a mid-distance red that he would miss probably 1 in about 20. But he didn't fancy it. And in goes the black, so Marco Fu all of a sudden is all but 1 frame adrift.
56.
Could have done with that in.
56.
56, but 2 snookers needed. If the red goes in, there's no playing on.
1.
I think it's good he's playing on as well. You know, another day might have not fancied it, but shows he's still thinking, still believes he can get back into the frame, and still playing proper match snooker. Didn't quite go to plan, though.
8.
Yeah, if he could have got the reds into play, taking it down to the last red, then, you know, he could have put Fu in trouble, but had to wait for a better chance to do that. Marco Fu on the comeback trail. Terrific long red this. A match that he was a ball from losing, 6-2. He has the chance now to take us to a decider. He's won the last 2 frames. And this fairy tale continues for Marco Fu. There won't be any playing on now. This frame is done. The match is not yet done. It's now a lot closer. Marco Fu wins 2 on the spin. Ronnie O'Sullivan is still 1 away from victory. His lead reduced now to just 5-4. It's anyone's. Fu looking to take us to a decider.
Yeah, he didn't come round and have a look. Got to be honest. A wee bit clumsy, that. You know, we often see players come down, have a look at the edge of the bunch, what's going to happen. He didn't. He just took it for granted that there was no danger. So, the red's a certainty. Position's not. Well, it almost adds to the almost adds to the uncertainty of the situation, doesn't it? The black going the worst possible place on the table, completely out the game.
Yeah, it all started with that kick he got, didn't it? That meant he had to take on that tough pink in frame 8, and since then he's been sort of battling the elements a bit.
Six. Seven.
I think one thing we do know, Ronnie's not one to think, right, I'll just pick them off and, you know, get 30 or 40. Far from it. Regardless of how we've got to this stage at 5-4, he will still try to win the frame.
12.
And what, well, you'd call it the proper way, wouldn't you? Try to win it in one visit. Now, he's got to risk it. It's a nice target. Full face of the pink, surely. Wow, that's amazing. That does surprise me. Just because it's such a good target. The in-off wasn't really on. I mean, time will tell. Who am I to, you know, second guess this fella when it comes to break building, but I thought that was the time.
19.
Well, great shot. The only thing I will say is definitely more difficult that than the last opportunity. He's still got one. Nothing absolutely guaranteed, but more than acceptable.
The thing is, he's weathered so many blows over the years you're going to in a long career at the top level, and so, okay, he's sort of under a bit of pressure, but he's responded before now in big matches, and he's looking to do the same again. I suppose you could argue it would be a better win for having been put under pressure at the end. The main thing is to get the win, and he's got the chance to do that and bring a memorable 4 days to a conclusion here.
21. Six. Seven. 42. 43.
Didn't look at all with it at the British Open. Rather flat atmosphere at Milton Keynes. Of course, it's the opposite here. This is a world record crowd of 9,000 people inside this venue.
Yeah, Green's a shot here, just low of the blue with a cue ball, 3 to land on. No problem whatsoever.
Only 6.
He's had to focus so hard here. That black went safe immediately, didn't it? Having to work off the other colours. He's played in all areas really well. He's focused hard, he's been disciplined, the safety's been good. He had a century in frame 7. And he's getting closer to the line now. Still work to do to get over it.
Yeah. He's actually okay. Deep screw through the gap. Beautifully played. And this time he's absolutely perfect on the blue, so one more red-blue to follow. And Ronnie O'Sullivan looks like picking up
58.
Hong Kong Masters title and trophy. And if he does, worth saying credit to Marco Fu. He's been absolutely brilliant in a lot of ways. It's been his tournament, hasn't it, with a maximum and all, but is this the final throws?
Well, we're here at the Hong Kong Coliseum. There's never quite been a snooker gladiator like Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's responded well here. He was put under pressure at the end of this final. He looks certain to win 6-2. Fu won the next 2, but this has been the response. Not a straightforward break with the black safe. The pink hasn't been particularly available either, but Ronnie O'Sullivan has kept going, and as you can see, too many snookers needed now. Yeah, Marco Fu, great to see him. He provided the moment of the season so far, didn't he, yesterday with that maximum in the decider. And we look forward to seeing him on the circuit going forward. And he's played his part in a very special 4 days for snooker.
7.
Fans have flocked to this venue to watch the best in the business do battle. And they've seen the best in the business win the title.
71.
Wouldn't it be great if he wins it with a century? That seems fitting.
73. 74. 80. 81.
'It's been a really good break, this.
87. 89.
Well, like the showman he is, he's going out in style, isn't he? Marco Fu, sort of a little half grin on his face. He battled so well to get back into the final, but what can you do in the face of this? He's going to win it with a century.
96. 101.
Already chipped the black out to ensure a total clearance of 114. Ronnie O'Sullivan, snooker's biggest box office attraction, wins the Hong Kong Masters in front of a world record crowd of 9,000 people inside the Hong Kong Coliseum. He beats Marco Fu by 6 frames to 4. The world champion lands his first title of the season.
喺度亦都恭喜奧蘇利雲成為今屆香港世界桌球大師賽2022嘅冠軍，最終以局數6比4。
Director of Leisure and Cultural Services, Mr. Vincent Liu JP, to present the champion trophy.
喺度宣布香港世界桌球大師賽2022嘅冠軍得主就係嚟自英國嘅火箭奧蘇利雲。
The HongKongMasters2022 champion goes to RonnieO'Sullivan.
Yet another trophy for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and I think a special one because of the atmosphere here. And you can see him thanking the sponsors and the organisers for